Shut up and sit down.
That's the story, Internet. Hope everyone has had a wonderful Friday. Here I am with part 2 of this week's preview, getting into the Sunday-Monday matches. So before I get into the Premier League matches, I had a quick look around the leagues to see if there were any other big matches to look out for. The only ones I wanted to highlight Roma versus Fiorentina, which isn't a huge match, but you know, two decent sides in the Serie A. They're really the closest to a big match that I saw. And then there's an MLS match, which is a derby match. It's Portland versus Vancouver. Portland, Vancouver and Seattle all have a rivalry within the MLS, leading to something called the Cascadia Cup, which I'm not entirely sure about, but yeah, this is Portland versus Vancouver. So Portland versus Seattle is a bigger match, but Portland versus Vancouver is still a big match in MLS terms anyway. So those are the two kind of quasi big matches around the rest of the leagues. So let's jump into the Premier League, starting with Sunday. So we've got Aston Villa versus Southampton, available on Peacock. Aston Villa will be looking to bounce back from last time out, where their unbeaten streak had finally ended thanks to Leeds. Southampton will be looking to build on their victory against Everton. So it should be quite an interesting match. I'm going to say that Aston Villa is probably going to win it, but not to say that Southampton's not going to be in the match. I think Southampton's still going to score. So I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2 to Aston Villa. Next match is Newcastle versus Everton, available on NBCSN and Telemundo. Everton will be looking to bounce back from the aforementioned loss to Southampton, and Newcastle will be hoping to right the wrongs of the draw against Wolves. But I think this one is pretty certain to be Everton. I think they've been too strong against Southampton. Not to say that they were unlucky, because that would be doing a disservice to Southampton, but I think that their game plan that had worked so well unravelled a little bit. So we'll see if they can get that back up and running again. The next match is the biggest one for the weekend. Not saying that biasedly in any means, obviously, but the next one is Manchester United versus Arsenal. So always a big match. This always seems to be the match that I end up watching whenever I go back home to watch matches. We always play each other around December for some reason. That's whenever I'm back home. So that one's available on Peacock. And Manchester United will be looking to go along with the Leipzig victory in midweek, the 5-0 that I've still got on my board over there, wherever I'm pointing, on the shelf. And to move on from the bore draw last week against Chelsea. Arsenal, however, will be looking to fight back after losing to Leicester, and they'll be looking to push on from that. They did win in the Europa League against Dundalk United today, or yesterday as you're watching this. So they'll have some confidence that they can go to Old Trafford and leave with the points. But yeah, I think it should be a highly entertaining match. I'm going to say it's going to be quite a high-scoring match. I'm going to say that Manchester United is going to win 3-2. Then next we have Spurs against Brighton. Brighton have had such a hot and cold start to the season. Last week they drew with West Brom. They had the narrow loss to Manchester United. They've just had such an up and down roller coaster of a season. A little bit like Wolves, a little bit like Newcastle. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for them. Spurs, on the other hand, will be desperate to win this match. After losing to Royal Antwerp and only just beating Burnley last week, they'll be looking to push on. And it'll be interesting to see if Gareth Bale, Harry Kane and Heung-min Son start up front. If they do, I would be scared as a Brighton fan. However, they do have the capability to hurt teams. So I think Spurs are ultimately going to win it. I'm going to call it 2-1. But I don't think it's going to be the most exhilarating of matches. I think both teams are going to be a little bit shaky after recent results. So, moving on to Monday. So we have Fulham against West Brom. Fulham have looked very shaky throughout the start of this season. Haven't had very many positives. They even had a red card last week, so they'll have to deal with that in this match. West Brom have been another one of those rollercoaster teams that I keep mentioning. They have a really high, and then they come back down again, and then they go up, and then they come back down. I think in this battle between two promoted teams, I think that West Brom is ultimately going to win. However, if memory serves, and let me just have a look back a couple of weeks, if I remember correctly, Fulham performed relatively well against Leeds when they came up. Yes, it was a 4-3, so they ended up losing, but it was a very entertaining match for two promoted teams. So I think that this is going to be in a similar vein. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring, but I think it'll be equally as competitive. So I'm going to say a 2-1 to West Brom at the end of the day. Wouldn't be surprised if Fulham were able to win though. And the last one of the week is Leeds United versus Leicester City. Leeds, of course, are the story of the Premier League at the moment. They've just keep going from strength to strength to strength, and the likes of Rodrigo and the new signing Rafinha are just doing incredibly well for them. Patrick Bamford with the hat-trick last time out against Aston Villa, so they're just on such a high. Leicester, on the other hand, have gone through they must be seasick with the amount of times that they've gone up and down. They beat Arsenal last time out, so they'll be feeling good about that. Jamie Vardy came through for them. But they also lost against Aston Villa 3-0. So they're going to want to continue their form. They did win in the Europa League on Thursday, so they're going to want to continue that and take it to Leeds United. But Leeds United aren't a team to be sniffed at because they play very, very positive football. So it'll be interesting to see. I can see this being quite a high-scoring match. I'm going to say maybe a 4-3. I'm going to call it with Leicester, just because I think that they have the higher quality. But it wouldn't surprise me if Leeds pulled an upset against the former champions. So yeah, we'll have to see. It'll be a very interesting weekend. I think the matches to watch out for, obviously Manchester United versus Arsenal, and then the Leeds versus Leicester. I think that that's just going to be a highly entertaining match. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, staying safe and keeping out of trouble. And I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Ta-ra for now.